Good morning, Super Secret Code here to show you my development setup, or rather what I use on a day-to-day basis. So what we have here is a MacBook Pro M4, which I actually didn't buy, which is one of the perks of being laid off as part of a unicorn. So yeah, anyway. I think the first thing you're going to see in my setup is that the status bar at the top is very different from a Mac one. That's because I'm hiding the real one, and instead I'm using SketchyBar, which is just displaying some stuff here that you can interact with. I use it with the Apple logo, the name of the machine I'm on, and then we have spaces here. And I have organized my spaces to have one space per kind of application. Like, as you can see, I'm using one window per space most of the time, and it's maximized. Okay, it takes all the space. So in the first space, I've got the terminal. In the second space, I have currently nothing, but it would be like development related tools like dbeaver or OrbStack or stuff like that. Space number 4 is for testing, which was for mobile application testing, but not so much anymore. Number 5 is Chrome, the browser, the internet. And number 6 is Slack, so messaging. And if I switch to a dedicated space when the application is not there, it's going to open it. If I close the application, it's going to switch me back to my previous state. And this is done thanks to AeroSpace, but we'll see that later. Space 7 is Spotify. And yeah, that's it, like nothing much more than that. Oh yes, I've got, speaking of Slack, I've got a Slack icon here. It's because I have set up Slack as, to be my notification center. So it's plugged to my Google Calendar. So any meeting in my calendar would send me a notification in Slack, and then I would see here like a little red dot or a number, a red number. Little red dot is there's a message, I can check it later. A number is like direct notification, I need to check it now. And yeah, nothing much to add here. I'm using AeroSpace, which is supposed to give you like tiling window manager for macOS, but as you can see, I'm not really using it as a tiling manager. Like, we can use it as a tiling manager like this, but again, I prefer to have just one application per space. macOS allows you to do that, but I don't like how it how it does it basically. With AeroSpace, switching from one space to another is instant. No animation, no nonsense, no anything. I suppose one last thing to note is that I use SKHD for the shortcuts. But yeah, we can have a look later at my specific config, which is in a .file repo, so everyone can check it. The next thing I want to talk about is my terminal. I'm not using the Mac terminal, I'm using Alacritty. This is one of the more modern terminal, and the reason I chose Alacritty is because it is available on both Mac and Linux. I'm a Linux power user, and now I'm a Mac user, so I want to be able to use kind of the same stuff on the same configuration on both systems, just in case I switch back. Yeah, so here we have fastfetch to show you my config. So this is a M4 Pro, blah blah blah, 64 gig, 1 terabyte of disk. Yeah, this is the latest, I believe, in terms of macOS system. We are using Brew for the packages, and yeah, Quartz Compositor for Mac, and AeroSpace for the window manager, kind of. SketchyBar. I'm using JetBrains, MonoNerd fonts almost everywhere. I'm trying to have a really consistent look. So I try to get the same fonts everywhere, And same for the theme. You will notice that here I'm using Catpuccin Macchiato, and it's the same for the bar here. It's the same for Slack here. Everywhere I can use the same thing, I'm going to use it. For Chrome, unfortunately, it's not really possible, but yeah, as I say, Cappuccino is quite nice, and there are other themes out there, but I chose Cappuccin because there's just so many ports to all the projects available there. So as I said, if you want to reuse the same thing everywhere, yeah, Cappuccin is quite good. I use tmux, so we can see right here. I use tmux, but not just tmux. I use tmux with fzdef and a couple of scripts. So if I want to start a session, I'm going to start it with the rt new session script, and we're going to have a look at it. And then I provide it a name, but that name is the name of a folder in projects. So actually, for dotfiles, it's a bit different. It's here, yeah. And with Zoxide, if you jump to a folder, then you can jump to it again without specifying the path. It's going to look into the most recent and the most frequent path you went to, and it's going to determine where to jump from there. So I'm reusing that with RT-new session. And yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm putting all my projects in here. And so if I want to work on a project, I'm going to use a new session and open it like that. And what it's going to do is going to jump using Zoxide to the correct path. It's going to name my session after the directory of the project I jump in. And it's going to use to open 3 windows, one for Vim, which is going to be my IDE, one for the AI, if I need to use LLM agents, and one for my daily commands for the project, like if I need to run rgrep, ripgrep, if I need to run fd, if I need to run anything really. Yeah. As you can see, I'm not using ls. I used to use tree a long time ago instead of ls, but now I'm using ESA. And with ESA, I get what I had with tree, but with nice icons. So that's a bit nicer. Anyway, I wanted to show you my RT scripts. You can see here in Vim that I'm using also fzdef, so I can fuzzy find my way through the folders. So it's going to fuzzy find the path, the file names, and it's going to show me a preview. This is very nice. So the RT-new session script is quite small. I try to keep my scripts very well scoped and very small. So we have this one, which creates a new session. Is going to use the name that was passed as first argument, and is going to switch to the current directory to what Zoxide determines the path is for that name. And that's it, nothing else at all. To open the new window, it's just in my tmux config. So if we have a look here, I got my tmux config in my .file repo. It's here, and if we go to here, that's the one. So whenever a new session is created, I create 3 windows, one for Vim, named Vim, one for AI, named AI, and one for Z shell, which is my default shell, by the way. There are some other RT scripts. One is quite simple. It's a list session, and it's to be able to display this here, because by default in tmux you can get the name of the windows at the top, but I also want the name of the session. So this is what it does. Plus, as you can see, plus some theming. I wish it was native in tmux, but that's not the case. So anyway, and by the way, all the tmux RT scripts for tmux that I created. They are also in the dot file. So we have list session, new session, and switch to session, which is for me when I use Ctrl Space S, it's going to switch to a new session. This is what it does. And then if I use Ctrl Space 1, it goes to window 1. Ctrl Space 2, it goes to number 2. Ctrl Space D, I detach. And then if I want to create a work on a new project, there we go. I use RT new session and I go there and I can do Ctrl Space number, so 2, to switch to a project. So yeah, again, tmux is supposed to help you split the screen, I think, like this, but just like AeroSpace, which is supposed to be a tiling window manager, I don't use that feature. I just want full screen and I want to be able to switch to a different screen with keybindings. So that's how I use it. We have seen tmux. We have seen fzdef, which was used in Vim to switch, but I also use it in my terminal. For example, with Ctrl R, I can look through the history and fuzzy find my way through my commands. Very useful, fzdef. I really like it. Yes, there are a couple of commands that I have switched. So for example, ls, I no longer use ls, I no longer use tree, I use esa instead. Zoxide, yes, I no longer use cat, I use bat. So if I do this and I tap tab, then I can fuzzy find my way through my files, and then I can display the script. Bat is nice because it has the color scheme, catpuccin, and it has the line numbers, and if I want to copy, it's not going to have the line numbers. So yeah, very nice. And yeah, there are many tools that I use like that, and it's all in my dotfiles repository. So my dotfiles repository is where I put all my config files, but also I want to use it as a way to backup and restore and synchronize my config. So there's also some scripts that I use to do that. There's nothing fancy really. It's just I have an install script here, and what it does is it goes through each folder here, and each folder here is a package, so bash for example, and it runs the install script, and the install script is literally select the correct package manager, so Linux or macOS, and then do some stuff. So for bash it's installed by default, so there's nothing to do. That's cool. Let's see, git up. So we install git, and then we create a bunch of symlink that points to the config here. Yeah. So again, pretty simple stuff. I have categorized my dot files. So each folder has a digit in the front. 00 is internal stuff. 1 is like the bare minimum, like the shell, bash, curl, less. 2 is a bit more than the bare minimum, but still like basic stuff like git, vim, tree, ack. Basically all I used to use back in 2015. And the free stuff, 3, is bang. It's like since 2025 I've decided to up my game. I use fastfetch, I use Alacritty, zshell, ripgrep, bat, git delta, fdsa, fcdev, zoxide, tmux, cmake, aspel, you name it. So yeah, really all the stuff I can get my hands on. Starship is the prompt here, the shell prompt. You can definitely check my .files. I'll put the link in the description. And yeah, I suppose that's it. Maybe one last thing, it would be vertical tabs on Chrome. So this is something I've been trying out for 2 months now, and when I first switched to vertical tabs, it took me 2 weeks to get used to it. But basically, I keep my tabs open here, and then they disappear and they become smaller, and I can't find anything. Being vertical allows me to see it better, and it takes less real estate on the screen. Like, it's not an issue if it's on the side rather than on the vertical, horizontal. Yeah, on the vertical space. And also, it's easier to find, right? If I just want to find something, I just do Ctrl Shift A and A, and then I can search for the tabs. So really easy. It has made group tabs actually more useful to me. So now I can pinpoint stuff and get rid of them. Like, it's very flexible. But yeah, that's it for my dev setup. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if there are anything that you liked or anything you would like to suggest for me to try. I know that I would very much like to try Atto at some point. But yeah, that's it for the video, and bye for now.